Now I am going to give you a demo on the SharePoint. What is the SharePoint? How it can, and why should we go for SharePoint and all details. Okay. Before going for SharePoint, just I want to let you know something about IaaS. Okay. What is the IaaS?
Internet Information Service.
Yes. IaaS is nothing but Internet Information Services. Simply we can say that IaaS is the web server where we will deploy the application to publish that into outside of the world. Got it?
Yeah.
I am repeating. Yeah. What is the IaaS? IaaS is the web server where we will deploy the application to publish that into outside of the world. See, once you develop the application by using .NET, finally where we need to deploy this application, whereas in Microsoft Technologies, IaaS. Okay, if we go for Java, once you develop the application by using Java, then finally where we need to deploy the Java application? Apache Tomcat, Apache Tomcat server or WebLogic. Getting, if you go for IBM product, just we will use what? WebSphere. Getting, same way, IaaS is the web server where we will deploy the application to publish that into outside of the world. Getting, see, assume that we have one requirement, need to develop the what? TCS application. Okay, see, if you go for .NET, once you develop the application by using that is .NET, finally where we need to deploy it? In IaaS, right? To deploy the application, that is .NET application in IaaS, what should we do? We need to create one virtual path, and under that we need to paste the all application related files, exe, DLL, some classes, everything. Okay? Then we need map with that folder, right? It is some tedious process. If something goes wrong, the entire application will not be work. Getting, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bhavani and Lokesh. Any doubt?
Yes, I am getting.
Yes. Okay.
No answer plan.
Yes. This is IaaS. So what is IaaS? IaaS is the web server where we will deploy the application to publish that into outside of the world. Okay. Now versions of the IaaS. Okay, versions of the IaaS. First thing is, see, IaaS 5.0, next 6.0, next 7.0, next version of the IaaS is 7.5. Now latest version of the IaaS is 8.0. Okay, 8.0. 8.0, it will come along with Windows Server 2008, Windows Server 2012 or Windows 8. I am repeating, the IaaS 8.0, it will come along with Windows Server 2012 or Windows 8. Getting, guys?
Yeah.
So finally, see, if you go for SharePoint, see, once you develop the application by using .NET, then what should we do? Finally, we need to deploy that application into IaaS. This is manual thing. Getting? It is manual thing. Just see. Open the IaaS. Okay, this is the IaaS. How can you find it out? IaaS versions. Go to the help. Click on About Internet Information Services. What is the version? 7.5. So once you develop the application by using .NET, finally we need to deploy it on where? IaaS. How can you deploy it? Like this. Right click, add website. Okay, I need to give the what? Site name. Assume that is okay. Next, map with physical path. Assume that I am giving some intel. Assume that is my application. We need to map with our application. Now give your thing. I am giving TCS dot. Getting, click on OK. Once I click on OK, now onwards people can access what is it? https://tcs.com. Yes or no, guys? So while deploying the application, if something goes wrong, then entire web application will not be accessible. Getting, guys? So to troubleshoot these kind of issues, it is tedious process. It is very difficult to track the errors where it is coming. Getting? Now if you go for SharePoint, once you create the application in SharePoint, automatically it gets deployed on our IaaS. So simply we can say that backbone of the SharePoint is IaaS. Got it? Backbone of the SharePoint is IaaS. So once you create the application in SharePoint, automatically it gets deployed under where? IaaS. Now tell me, what is the SharePoint? What is the SharePoint? SharePoint is a collaboration portal where we will deploy the application to publish that into the outside of the world. Or else, see, what is the SharePoint? SharePoint is a collaboration portal where we will upload the document and share them among globally or internally based on business requirement. Getting? I am repeating. What is the SharePoint? SharePoint is a collaboration portal where we will upload the document and share them among globally or internally based on business requirement. That is called SharePoint. Got it, guys? See, best example, I need to develop the one application for TCS. Okay? If you go for TCS, we have so many departments, right? One is IT, sales, marketing, finance, some other thing, motor field. Okay, in this case, if you go for .NET, then what should we do? We need to develop the separate application for IT. I need to develop the separate application for sales, marketing, finance, and motor field. Getting, guys? If you go for .NET, it is tedious process. We need to hire more resources to achieve this requirement, and we need to put lot of budget on that. Getting? If you go for SharePoint, then just we will create the application. What is it? TCS.com. From there we will create the site collections. What is it? HR. Next, how sales people can access this site? Sales. How finance people can access this site? TCS.com/finance. Getting? So here HR people, they cannot see the content of sales and finance. Sales people, they cannot see the content of HR and finance. Getting? So easily we can create the application. From there we will extend the sites. That means, what is the web application? Collection of site collections. What is the site collection? Collection of sub-site or website. What is the sub-site or website? Collection of pages. Just to see. In SharePoint, what is the web application? Collection of site collections. Okay, what is the site collection? Collection of sub-site or website. What is the sub-site or website? Collection of pages. Getting, guys? It is important architecture in SharePoint. Please be remember it. Okay, see, this is the TCS.com. In TCS, I have so many departments. One is IT, other one is sales, next one is finance. Here, IT people, how they can access the site? Just see like this. http://tcs.com/it. Next, http://tcs.com/sales. Next, http://tcs.com/finance. Got it, guys? See here, IT people, they cannot access of sales and finance. Sales people, they cannot access the content of IT and finance. Finance people, they cannot access the content of sales and IT. Got it? As you know that already, now tell me, what is the SharePoint? SharePoint is a collaboration portal where we will upload the document and share them among globally or internally based on business requirement. Getting, guys? Yeah. Now tell me, what are the 4 pillars of the OOPS concepts? Getting my question? My question is very clear. What are all the 4 pillars of the OOPS concepts? Okay, one is abstraction. Next, second one, inheritance. Third one, polymorphism.
Polymorphism.
Next, fourth one,
Encapsulation.
encapsulation, right? These are all the 6 pillars of the SharePoint. Same way, yes, same way there are 6 pillars of the SharePoint. Got it? Or we can say 6 features of the SharePoint. What are they? Just see. Yeah, these are the 6 pillars of the SharePoint. One is sites, communities, content, search, insight, composite. It is very important indirect question. Direct question they will ask you. Tell me at least what are all the 6 pillars of the SharePoint. Getting these 6 areas, our Microsoft implemented more things. See, just now I have explained that. What is the sites? What is the web application? Collection of site collections. What is the site collection? Collection of subsites or website. What is the website or subsite? Collection of pages. That is called sites. Got it? This is important architecture in SharePoint. This way, our application and site collection, subsite and pages will be involved in our SharePoint web application. Getting? That is called sites. Yes.
Dhanshekar, one moment.
Yeah.
So in this architecture, how do we name the list and document library in this architecture? So the last you are ended with the pages, right? So how
Yes,
do we define the library?
Document library, we can get it even site collections and even subsites also.
Okay.
Okay,
So
these are the
how
parts of the site collections and websites. Oh, sorry, subsites.
Okay.
Okay. Next, communities. What is the communities? Communities are centralized location. From there we can share our knowledge. I am repeating. What is the community? Community is nothing but it is a centralized location. From there we can share our knowledge. Assume that in TechNet forum, as you know that already, if I post one query, what is the SharePoint? See, some people may respond that SharePoint is the collaboration portal. Some people may respond that SharePoint is the document management system. Some people may respond that SharePoint is the content management system. Getting all these answers we can see at single point, right? So what is the communities? Simply we can say that communities are like a blogs. Okay, communities are centralized location. From there we can share our knowledge. Got it? Okay, that is called communities. Next, what is the content? In SharePoint, tightly integrated with SQL Server. SharePoint tightly integrated with SQL Server. See, this is the SharePoint server. This is the SQL Server. So, if you are uploading any data in SharePoint, every data gets stored under where? SQL Server databases. Simply we can say entire SharePoint content will be stored under SQL Server. See, if something you are storing under SQL Server, obviously it is very secure, right? Nobody can hack the data. Entire data will be stored in the format of what? Encrypted or in the format of what? Store procedures. Getting, guys? Okay, entire SharePoint data will be stored under SQL Server. So SharePoint tightly integrated with SQL Server. Getting? That is called content. What is the content? Entire SharePoint content will get saved under where? SQL Server. Next, search. What is the search? Search is the one of the pillar of the SharePoint. Okay, due to this kind of functionality, Microsoft SharePoint got populated that much demand in the market. Okay, so what is the search? Search is nothing but search something within the SharePoint application. There is no difference between Google search and our SharePoint search. The only one difference is in Google search we can search the content whatever we require throughout globally. Getting? In SharePoint search we can search the content whatever existing within the SharePoint application. Getting? I am repeating. What is the search? Search is the one pillar of the SharePoint. By using this functionality, we can search the item whatever existing within the SharePoint application. Getting? Next, there is no difference between Google search and our SharePoint search. The difference is in Google search, we can search the content whatever we require throughout globally. Whereas in SharePoint search, we can search the content whatever we require within the SharePoint application. Best example, consider the TCS. In TCS, assume that nearly 3 lakhs people are accessing. Okay? Out of them, there are different types of technology. Assume that I have joined as a SharePoint administrator. Then, if I type SharePoint admin, then I will get the SharePoint admin documents. As a WebLogic person, if we enter into the TCS portal, then if you type the WebLogic admin, then WebLogic admin documents will be displayed like a Google search. Got it? As a SharePoint admin, I cannot navigate to particular document, right, where my SharePoint admin documents were there. It is very difficult. If I provide the search functionality like a Google search, then it will display all the documents like a Google search.
So the search, from where it pulled the data? From SQL Server database or from where?
Yeah,
How
that
the search
I will come to that.
retrieve the data?
Yes, I will come to that.
Okay.
Okay. Just see, that is about search. Next, what is the insights? What is the insights? Insights. See, our SharePoint tightly integrated with SQL Server and Office product. Getting, guys? SharePoint tightly integrated with SQL Server and MS Office products. Tomorrow, assume that your client requested that I have some data that I need to be presented in SharePoint. How can you do? We will establish the connection from our SharePoint to Oracle, then we will pull out the data and present into our SharePoint application. So what does it mean? Our SharePoint will be able to integrate it with any third party vendors. Getting, guys? So what is the insights? Insights is nothing but SharePoint can able to integrate it with any third party databases. Got it? Yeah. Next, composites. What is the composites? See, assume that we want to start one small business. What we will do? We will purchase one server. Okay, we will purchase one server, and in this server I have installed the SharePoint, .NET, that is Visual Studio 2010, and SQL Server, some Active Directory, everything I have enabled. Now, by using this and all, I have prepared and I have developed one website. I have deployed in IIS. Now, people are accessing the web application. Assume that initially 4 members are accessing your web application. Got it? So, is there any performance? Is there any performance issue? No, right? Okay, just 4 members are accessing our web application. There is no performance issue. So, assume that your application got populated very much. Now, 50,000 members are accessing your web application. Is there any performance? Is there any performance issue? Guys? Yes, there is a performance issue, right? See, once you access the application, to load the home page itself, it will take 2 to 3 minutes. So, assume that we are getting so much money due to this application. What we will do? We will purchase one more server, right? Then, we will arrange one load balancer. We will connect like that. So assume that if I outside of the users, when I hit the application like www.tcs.com, then this request will be routed to either this server or this server. Assume that this server handling 10 requests, this server handling 9 requests. Again I hit the application, then this request will be routed to which server? This server or this server? The server which is handling less request. Got it? So assume that your request will be routed to this server, then this server should be display same information. Or else your request will be routed to 002 server, then this server also should be display what? Same information. Here what does it mean? Distributing the data from one server to multiple servers called composites. What is it? Distributing the data from one server to multiple servers called composites. One more thing, see, simply we can say that what is the composites? Composite is nothing but pull out the data from different business systems called composite. See, once I create the web application in one server in SharePoint, same web application will get created in another web servers as well. So what does it mean? We are pushing the data to multiple servers. Not only this, we can get the data from Excel services, we can get the data from performance point services, we can integrate it with SSRS with SharePoint, that is SQL Server reporting services. These are the comes under which category? Composites. So what does it mean? We are pushing the data or pull out the data from different business systems called composites. Got it? Not only that, by using SharePoint, we can develop the application by providing rich graphical user interface and by providing more security levels. These are all the 6 pillars of the SharePoint. Important interview question. Okay, one is sites, composites, content, search, insights, and composites. Okay, these are all the 6 pillars of the SharePoint. Now, to install the SharePoint, very important interview question. Okay, what are all the hardware and software requirements are needed to install the SharePoint? Got it? To install the SharePoint, what are all the hardware and software requirements are needed? See, one is software requirement. What are the things are needed? One is .NET Framework 3.5. Next, SQL Server 2005 or 2008 or 2012. This is the latest version of the SQL Server in the market. Okay. Next, what else are required? Windows Server 2008 R2 version or Windows Server 2012. This is the latest version. Got it? Next, SharePoint 2010. Getting these are all the important software requirements are needed to install this SharePoint. Got it? Next, what are all the hardware requirement? One is we need minimum 4 GB RAM. I am telling about SharePoint 2010. Minimum how much GB RAM is required? Minimum 4 GB RAM is required. Next, 80 GB hard disk space is required. Okay. Next, 64-bit processor should be required. 64-bit processor should be required. Getting it is important interview question. Can we install the SharePoint on 32-bit edition of the processor or not? Very important interview question. What is that question? Can we install the SharePoint on 32-bit edition of the processor or not? No, we cannot install the SharePoint 2010. Whereas in SharePoint 2007, we can install it. Okay, these are all the important software and hardware requirements are needed to install the SharePoint. Now, to install the SharePoint, minimum how many service accounts are required? Very important entry question. To install the SharePoint, minimum how many service accounts are required? Minimum 2. What are they? One is SP_admin, SP_form account. Minimum 2 service accounts are required to install the SharePoint. If you go for Microsoft, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, any company in the world, these are the Microsoft standards. To install the SharePoint, minimum how many service accounts are required? 2. SP_admin, SP_form. These service account names will be changed based on company to company or project to project. Assume that my client is RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Now how I can create the service account? Like this: SP_RBI_, what is it? Admin. Next, SP_RBI_form account. Why 2 service accounts are required? Why not 1? One is SP_admin account we will use to install the SharePoint. SP_form account we will use to configure the SharePoint. Got it? So these 2 service accounts will be created by networking people and they need share this username along password along with whom? SharePoint administrator. Okay? After that, SharePoint administrator will start the installation of the SharePoint. Got it, guys? Very important entry question. Minimum how many service accounts are required to install the SharePoint? 2. SP_admin and SP_form. Okay, where these accounts will be created? Guys, any idea? Where these service accounts will be created? Active Directory.
Active Directory.
Yeah, Active Directory. Okay, see, today you are going to join in TCS. Okay, what they will do? They will create your name in TCS Active Directory. So they will allot you one system, right? How we will able to access that desktop? Like this: TCS/your name. Then if you pass the password, then only you can see the desktop. Yes or no? Here, what is the TCS here? We can say Active Directory or domain control. Same way, how networking people are creating our names in Active Directory, no? As usual, same 2 service account they will create and they need share with us username and passwords. This service account, names and password. Then as a SharePoint administration, he can start the installation of the SharePoint. Getting, guys? Yeah. To install the SharePoint, these 2 service accounts should have some permission levels in SQL Server. What are they? One is security admin and DB creator. Please be remember that without these permissions, we cannot install the SharePoint. Got it? Okay, I am repeating, very important entry question as well. Okay, these service account should have some permission levels in SQL Server. What are they? One is DB creator and security admin. If these 2 service accounts have these permissions, then only we can start installation of the SharePoint. Otherwise, SharePoint cannot be installed. Getting, guys? Yeah. Next, once I install the SharePoint, how many databases will be created? Microsoft entry question. Once I install the SharePoint, see, this is the SharePoint server, this is the SQL server. Once I install the SharePoint and SharePoint server, how many databases will be created by default? Very important entry question. 2 databases will be created. How many databases? Initially 2 databases. What are they? One is configuration database, other one is SharePoint_admin database. Let me write it down. What are they? One is configuration database, other one is SharePoint_admin content database. Getting, guys? Very important entry question. Once I install the SharePoint, how many databases will be created? 2 databases. One is configuration database, other one is SharePoint underscore admin content database. Now tell me, if I created one web application in SharePoint, how many databases will be created by default? One database will be created. That we can call it as content database. Getting, guys? Now tell me, if I created 10 web applications, if I create 10 web applications in SharePoint, how many databases will be created? 10 databases. 10 content database. These content databases will be created by taking the reference file from where? Configuration database. Very, very important interview question. Just be remember it. See, if I create one web application in SharePoint, by default, how many databases will be created? One content database will be created. If I created 10 web applications, 10 content databases will be created, right? These content databases will be created by taking the reference file from where? Configuration database. Assume that by mistake I have deleted the configuration database. Will all 10 applications will work or not? Anyone can tell me? Guys, will work or not? No, it won't be work.
No.
Yeah, it won't be work. Why? Because all reference file has been deleted. Then how this web application will work? Impossible. So now tell me, what is the difference between configuration database and content database? Configuration database, it will be created while installing the SharePoint. It is common to all the applications. So simply we can say that configuration files will be created under configuration database. Next, what is the content database? Content database will be created when you are creating the application. So content database is related to specific web application. Configuration database is common to all the applications. Got it? Assume that if we done any changes on configuration database, it is common to all the web applications. How many web applications are existing in our SharePoint server? Okay, if we done any changes on content database, these changes will be reflected for particular web application. Getting, guys? Okay, these are the important information about SharePoint. Now, versions of the SharePoint. Versions of the SharePoint. What are the different types of versions are there in the market? One is 2001, 2003, next 2007, next 2010, next version of the SharePoint is 2013. This is the latest. These are the versions of the SharePoint. One is 2001, 2003, 2007, 2010 and 2013. See, forget about here. People don't know what is that also. Now, SharePoint 2007 onwards, okay, SharePoint got occupied very much demand in the market. Okay, now tell me, what is the difference between SharePoint 2007 and 2010? Okay, these are the versions of the SharePoint. What are they? SharePoint 2001, next 2003, next 2007, 2010 and 2013. Now latest version of the SharePoint is SharePoint 2013. Now forget about up to here. People don't know what is that. Now SharePoint got very much demand from SharePoint 2007 onwards. Now tell me, what is the difference between SharePoint 2007 and 2010? See, in SharePoint 2010, ribbon functionality is new. Ribbon. What is the ribbon? See, open our document. If I click on Insert tab, okay, insert related icons coming under Insert tab. If I click on Transition tab, then transition related icons coming under Transition tab. Getting, guys? Okay, this we can call it as ribbon. This we can call it as what? Ribbon. This kind of functionality is new in SharePoint 2010, which was not there in SharePoint 2007. So next, once I install the SharePoint 2007, 12 high folder will be created. Once I install the SharePoint 2010, which folder will be created? 14 high. Got it? What is it 12 high and 14 high? 14 high and 2 high is the root folder for the SharePoint. Okay? It will all the SharePoint related files will be copied under 14 high. I am repeating. What is the 14 high? 14 high is the root folder for the SharePoint. It will created once you install the SharePoint. Under 14 high, all the SharePoint related files will be copied. What are the all SharePoint related files? Like DLLs, exe files, that is master pages, and some controls. Next, what else? Some CSS file, master pages, everything. All SharePoint related files will be copied under 14 high. Simply say, it is a very important interview question. They will ask you, what is 14 high? 14 high is the root folder for the SharePoint. Once you install the SharePoint 2010, 14 high will be created, where all SharePoint related files will be copied. Getting? Next, I told you, search functionality. Search functionality. Okay? To enable the search functionality in SharePoint 2007, we need to create SSP. What is the SSP? Shared Service Provider. Shared Service Provider. Getting? What is the Shared Service Provider? If you want enable search functionality or some other functionality in SharePoint 2007, we need to create SSP. If I create the SSP, by default all 12 features will be enabled. See, I told you one feature, that is search functionality. Same way, we have different types of functionalities are there in SharePoint. One is search, Excel services, and performance point services, and next some Visio services, okay, some SSRS services. So many services are there. Okay, assume that I need only search functionality in SharePoint 2007. What should I do? I need create SSP. If I create the SSP, by default all 12 features will be enabled on particular web application. Even though all the services are not really required for my web application, still it is creating. Okay, what is the defect of that? Anyone can tell me? That means performance will be drastically degraded, right? See, I have one web application, that is tcs.com. That is TCS. For TCS, I need only search functionality. Okay, what should I do? In SharePoint 2007, I need to create the SSP. To enable the search, I need to create the SSP. What is the SSP? Shared Service Provider. If you create the SSP, then all 12 features will be enabled for TCS application. Even though all the services are not really required for my web application, still it is creating. So due to this task, okay, our SharePoint application performance will be drastically degraded. Okay, due to that, SSP has been removed in SharePoint 2010. Okay, where in 2010 SSP has been removed. So while creating the web application itself, we will decide that what all the services are required. Just check in the checkbox and click on OK. According to the business requirement, our SharePoint gets created. My SharePoint application gets created. Got it? Any doubt?
Dhanshekar, totally how many services are there default in 2010?
Yeah, in 2010 nearly 12 to 14 services are there.
So not a 20?
Sorry?
Not 20?
No. Based on if you are installing, keep on installing the component, no, it will get installed. See, SiteMinder component is there. If you install the SiteMinder, then automatically that component will get installed.
So
by default, there are 12 to 14 services. in
So
2010.
can we create our own custom service applications?
Yeah, for that we need to install the add-ons.
You need to add?
Add-ons.
Okay. So we can create our own service application and
Yes,
install in
yes,
SharePoint.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks. Go on.
Yeah. Got it? That means suppose SiteMinder one component is there. Did you hear about that component? SiteMinder.
Yes, then shader for the validations kind of thing.
Yes. That is third-party authentication tool that has been developed by CA company. If you want your application need to be integrated with SiteMinder, then that component needs to be installed. Once you install that component, that is ready for our application to consume it. Got it? Meshila?
Yes. Got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That way. See, next. These are the important differences between SharePoint 2007 and 2010. Now tell me, what are the differences between SharePoint 2010 and 2013? First, in SharePoint 2013, Microsoft has implemented one functionality called Facebook functionality. Okay, that we can call it as newsfeed. Okay, so Facebook functionality Microsoft has implemented in SharePoint 2013, which was not there in SharePoint 2010. Once I install the SharePoint 2010, which folder will be created? 14 Hive. Then for SharePoint 2013, which folder will be created? 15 Hive. Got it? Next. In SharePoint 2013, Microsoft has implemented apps concept. What is the apps? Apps is a piece of information where it will be deployed in our cloud. Okay, see, we are using Samsung Galaxy and all, right? See, if you want to develop some apps, what we will do? See how we are developing the apps for Android, how we are developing the apps for our iPhone. Same way, from SharePoint 2013 onwards, we are going to develop the apps for SharePoint. Got it? Main advantage of the apps is, it is a piece of component, it will be deployed under their cloud computing. Once you deploy it on cloud, anywhere we can access. As a laptop users we can access, as a desktop people can access, as a tab people can access, as a mobile users also can access. Apps means just pay and use. If we go for cyber cafe, what we'll do, we'll pay some 10 rupees amount, use the internet, come out, right? Same way, what is the apps? See, if you require some apps in your mobile, what we are doing? We are connecting to the market, there we can find it out, our apps, download that apps into our mobile, play the games and throw it away, right?
Yeah.
From SharePoint 2013 onwards, same concept they have implemented in SharePoint 2013. So we are going to develop the apps for SharePoint. See, up to now, how we are developing the apps for Android, how we are developing the apps for some iPhone. Same way, from SharePoint 2013 onwards, we are going to develop the apps for SharePoint. See, recently we have used one app, that is weather app. How Microsoft has developed this weather app, no? See, once you add this app into your application, once you set your city, assume that if I set the Washington DC, then it is clearly displaying that in Washington DC, in what is the temperature and when snow is coming, and this kind of information will be there.
For this functionality already we have a web services, right? We can use it.
No, web service is different, apps is different. Totally concept it is different.
Okay.
Yeah. See, best example, weather app. See, once you add this app into our SharePoint application, 2013 application, if we set it to Hyderabad, then according to the Hyderabad temperature, it will modify. It will modify every minute by minute. See, this minute I have 28 degrees. Next minute 29. according to the weather outside, it will get changed. Okay, that much powerful that is apps. Okay, so apps is the new SharePoint 2013, which was not there in SharePoint 2010. Okay, in SharePoint 2010, we have list, document library, some pages. From SharePoint 2013 onwards, we are going to call them as apps. Getting guys? From SharePoint 2013 onwards, everything we are going to call them as apps. Okay, I will give you SharePoint 2013 also. No need to worry about that.
Okay.
Okay, these are the important differences between SharePoint 2010 and 13. In SharePoint, one more important wonderful feature is in 2013, in SharePoint 2010, we can upload the documents. How we are uploading? Add new document, choose the file from our desktop, uploading. From SharePoint 2013 onwards, we are going to drag and drop the documents. Okay, how we are drag and drop? Yes. See, just to minimize your application, now I want to upload these many documents. Just to highlight, then drag and drop. This kind of functionality is new in SharePoint 2013, which was not there in SharePoint 2010. These are the important differences between SharePoint 2010 and 13.
How about the performance wise compared to 2010 and 2013?
We have separate concept, I will tell you that.
Okay.
Okay. Here in 2013, minimum we need for 8 GB RAM. In SharePoint 2013, minimum 4 GB RAM is required to install the SharePoint. Whereas in SharePoint 2013, no, we need minimum 8 GB RAM. That is up to the, that is depends on how many concurrent users are going to access our application. We will give the capacity planning. Okay. Do you have any queries as of now, guys? Bhavani, any questions?
And then,
Sorry?
Hello, I'm good.
Yeah, Bhavan.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, Lokesh.
Chandrasekhar,
Yes.
Lokesh, please go ahead. I have some questions.
Yeah. I don't have any questions. Please go ahead, share.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chandrasekhar, if you want to install a SharePoint server, do we have a SharePoint Foundation prior to install?
No, that is not required. Automatically it will come. While installing the SharePoint 2010 server, no, along with that SharePoint Foundation also will come.
Fine.
And SharePoint server is not a free-based software, right? It's a paid version, or it's
No, we have the trial version, 180 days trial version. Once you install that, no, you can use up to 180 days.
Okay.
This is the about SharePoint today's session. Tomorrow I am going to show you how to create the web application in SharePoint. Here main thing, two things you need to remember. Guys, I am repeating. One is, once you create the web application in SharePoint, two things will be happen. What are they? One, content database will be created in SQL Server. Next, what will happen? Automatically the application gets deployed in our IaaS. I am repeating, very important. Once you create the web application in SharePoint, two things will be happen. What are they? One, content database will be created in SQL Server. Next, the application automatically it gets deployed in our IaaS. Please be remembered. Going forward, I will ask you these questions. Then we will go ahead with other classes. Okay. Now go through that my PPT. Okay. See, minimum 64-bit processor required. 80 GB hard disk space is required. Next, these are the prerequisite steps. What are all they? See, IaaS 7.0 or 7.5, .NET Framework 3.5, SQL Server some expression. These are the prerequisites. While installing the SharePoint, automatically these components will getting downloaded from the internet then install in our SharePoint server. Without installing these prerequisites, SharePoint cannot be installed on your system. Okay, got it? Now scroll down. I told you, we need use two service account to install the SharePoint, right? What are all they? sp_admin, sp_com. My information is very clear. I am telling about that. How many service accounts are required to install the SharePoint? Minimum 2. That means, what does it mean? We can use more than one also, more than 2 also, to configure the services for different service application. See, one is security admin, other one is DB creator. These two permissions are required in SQL Server to install the SharePoint. Without these permissions, we cannot install and configure the SharePoint. Okay. Next, final thing, once I install the SharePoint, one folder will be created, that is Microsoft SharePoint 2010 products. Elaborate it. Again, we will get 3 options. One is SharePoint 2010 Central Admin, Management Shell, and Products Configuration. Getting here? See, once forget about these two, I will let you know later on. Now click on SharePoint Central Admin. Do you remember? I have shown you that once you install the SharePoint 2010, how many databases will be created? Guys, anyone can tell? Dheeraj, are you there?
Yes, there is one config database.
Yeah, one is configuration database, other one is SharePoint _ content admin content database. Okay, once I create the web application in SharePoint, how many databases will be created? One content database will be created. Okay, as of now, I was explained about configuration database and content database. I didn't explain about SharePoint _ admin content database, right? Okay, just to see. No. See, once I click on that central admin, it will ask you the credentials. Okay, what credentials should I pass? Anyone can tell me? So I am using sp_admin, sp_com account need to be used to install the SharePoint. To open the central admin also, we need to pass these credentials initially. Got it? sp_admin or sp_com account. See, I have installed the SharePoint by using administrator account. Pass the credential. Click on OK. See, this is the central admin. Getting, guys? I told you, no? What is it? Another database. SharePoint _ admin content database. Our central admin, this page is running on which database? SharePoint _ admin content database. Please be remembered. I will prove that. See, this is the application. Central admin also, it is one kind of application. Getting, guys? Don't get confusion. See, what is it? SharePoint Central Admin. Click on here. What is the database name? SharePoint _ admin content database. So your central admin is up and running on which database? SharePoint _ admin database. Please be remembering. SharePoint _ admin content database. Getting, guys? Got it? Any doubt?
Yes, Dhanshekar.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Could you please tell me how the default page constructed here in central admin?
Default
Page. You open there the central administration.
Yeah.
So the admin preface on the default AST. So could you let me know how the default AST page is constructed?
Yeah, that I will tell you. In web application level also we can make it some other page as a default page.
Okay.
Yeah. By default, once you open the central admin, okay, this page will be coming to the picture. If you know all the tabs about in this page, you can act as a SharePoint administrator.
Yeah, correct.
If you yeah, go ahead.
Dhanshekar, really you are very practical oriented, so I think you are the right person to ask my questions.
Yes.
Please exactly tell me in practically what is form. FARM form.
Yeah.
I
No,
could
actually,
see
other
different
people
meanings
also
over
there.
there.
No, other people also there. If I tell, they will be confused. Something going wrong and something. In that case, now we will have a separate session 1-to-1. Then I will clear all your doors over there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Farm means we will have more than one server. See, generally, please remember this. It is everyone. It is very useful. In SharePoint, best below 10. That is, we will decide the form according to the how many users are going to access our application. Okay. Just to see.
Okay.
I have 2 web front-end servers, okay, 2 application servers, okay, this is the SQL server. How it will be connected each other, no? Here we will manage the load balancer.
Load balancer. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then it will be communicated like this.
Absolutely.
So finally application will be communicated with SQL server.
Database.
See, whenever user hit the application, first it will hit the load balancer. From there, this request will be routed to either this server or this server. From there, it will go to application server. From application server to SQL server. SQL server, from there it will give the information will be displayed. Getting, guys? So this we can call it as form. And like this we can call it as form. Totally how many servers are there in this form?
5 servers.
5 servers. Getting? Bhavani and Ashila, some other like Dheeraj. Okay, this is about the overall concept of the SharePoint. Do you have any questions? Again, I am asking you for today's session.
Kancheka. So once you install the SharePoint, right, how many Windows services are running in the background?
How many? How many Windows services, sir?
Yes, no,
Yeah, Ashila. Yeah, come again one more time.
Yes. Once you install the SharePoint, right, completely. So how many Windows services are running in background?
Yeah, many things. See, once I install the SharePoint, timer jobs are running. That is central admin service is running. Some set service also running. User profiles. Once you install, once you enable the user profile service, no, that is also coming to the picture to Windows services. Depends on if you are keep on enabling the services, no, according to that Windows service will be enabled.
Oh, okay. So what are the main duties for the timer services?
Yeah, timer jobs, entire our SharePoint is running on timer jobs only.
Okay.
See, assume that if you are enabling the user profile services, okay. See, profiles are imported from the Active Directory to our SharePoint, right? How it is happening? Once timer jobs are running in background, then imports, user profiles are imported. So many timer jobs. Simply we can say our SharePoint is running on many timer jobs.
Okay, which means you are saying that all the service applications running in background Windows service, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
See, best example, one workflow is completed. Okay, one workflow is running. Okay. What does it mean workflow? See, I need to get the approval from my manager. If I initiate the workflow, then the email notification will be sent to whom? Manager. So background workflow timer jobs also will be running. If it gets stopped, no, your workflow will not be initiated.
Okay.
Yeah. So timer jobs are very huge concept here. Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time.